That's new. There's a camera right here, so it shows this way and this way. Call the meeting to order. This meeting of the Prairie View Economic Development Corporation is called to order. Certified a quorum right now. I'll do All right, Bruce Davis is here. Director Emery Davis.
Present.
Director Sonia Hill. Director Alfred Johnson.
Present.
Director Barbara Manuel.
Present.
Director Levon Mosley.
Present.
Director Gigi Soublette. That, we have 5 members present, and we have a quorum. Barbara, can you do the invocation?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, Father God, we thank you for this meeting. But Lord, we just ask that you bring your Holy Spirit in right now and cover this place. Holy Spirit, you welcome in this place. We want to just say thank you for your mercy and grace. We thank you for traveling grace. But God, we just ask, Lord, that you are not the author of confusion. So, Lord, we ask that the enemy be bound in Jesus' name. God, we just thank you right now, God, for taking over this meeting and conduct it in a holy manner. Lord, we just thank you right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen.
All right, now pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right.
Glory to God, hallelujah.
All right, this time we will take citizens' comments. Citizens' comments are 3 minutes. I have 2 comment cards here. We'll start with Director Alfred Johnson. You have the floor.
Guys, board members, citizens, I want to read something into the record regarding today's meeting. So therefore, everybody will know that once you have the information, you can't unhear the information. So I'm going to read this into record so everybody can understand what we're doing here and how important documentation is.
Reading the PDF verbatim in full with no additions or commentary. Formal charter notice, governance failure, and coordinated conduct warning. Prairie View Economic Development Corporation, 4B. Date, January 21st, 2026. Addressed to Mr. Brewster's President, Prairie View Economic Development Corporation. Mr. Keith Jackson, Legal Counsel, Prairie View Economic Development Corporation. All directors, Prairie View Economic Development Corporation. Good evening. This statement is formally addressed to Mr. Bruce Davis, President of the Prairie View Economic Development Corporation, Mr. Keith Jackson, Legal Counsel to the EDC, and the full EDC Board of Directors. My name is Alfred D. Johnson. I am a resident of Prairie View, and I am the Vice President of the Prairie View Economic Development Corporation, Type 4B.
Point of order.
I am speaking as a citizen to correct the record and place formal charter-based legal notice into it. The Prairie View Home Rule Charter is not guidance. It is the source of all municipal authority. Under Article 4, Section 10M.
Okay. Point of order recognized.
Okay, what's the issue? This is not a telephone comment. This is not a telephone comment. This is a record being read.
You're not able to read that, what you're...
I have a vision impairment, so I utilize certain stuff.
It says an ADA.
Assisted.
Right. Okay.
Right.
That's what I was asking because it says that.
Right. No. This is when you have someone that has a. Okay. So can we start over? Okay.
You don't need
Okay,
to start
proceed.
over, just start from where it stopped.
Reading the PDF verbatim in full with no additions or commentary. Formal charter notice, governance failure, and coordinated conduct warning. Prairie View Economic Development Corporation, 4B. Date January 21st, 2026. Addressed to Mr. Bruce Davis, President, Prairie View Economic Development Corporation. Mr. Keith Jackson, Legal Counsel, Prairie View Economic Development Corporation. All directors, Prairie View Economic Development Corporation 4B, good evening. This statement is formally addressed to Mr. Bruce Davis, President of the Prairie View Economic Development Corporation, Mr. Keith Jackson, Legal Counsel to the EDC, and the full EDC Board of Directors. My name is Alfred D. Johnson. I am a resident of Prairie View, and I am the Vice President of the Prairie View Economic Development Corporation, Type 4B. I am speaking as a citizen to correct the record and place formal charter-based legal notice into it. The Prairie View Home Rule Charter is not guidance. It is the source of all municipal authority. Under Article 4, Section 10M, all powers of the city are vested in the City Council, and no officer, board member, or body may act without specific authorization of the council in a meeting. Under Article 4, Section 11, boards and commissions exist only by council creation, council authorization, and within council-defined limits. The EDC does not operate outside this structure. It exists because of it and is bound by it. Between December 15th and December 31st, 2025, I issued multiple written notices to EDC leadership, including demands to cure, notices of non-response, compliance directives, preservation orders, and referrals to state oversight authorities. Each notice was dated, distributed, and legally grounded. As of today, there has been no written response. That silence is not confusion. It is choice. Under the Texas Open Meetings Act, Sections 551.41, 551.12, and 551.144, actions taken outside properly noticed meetings or after agenda manipulation are voidable, and knowing violations carry consequences. Under the Texas Public Information Act, Chapter 552, failure to respond, preserve records, or produce public information after notice is not excused by silence. Under Robert's Rules of Order, 12th edition, Sections 41, 48, 56, and 63, no officer, committee, president, or attorney may act without lawful notice, recorded motions, votes, and minutes. Anything else is beyond authority. My name has been placed on 5 separate agendas, attempting to remove me as vice president and to remove me from the EDC entirely. If removal were lawful, it would have occurred the first time. There has been no public hearing, no charter-authorized process, no written findings, no documented violations, and no due process record of misconduct. Repeated attempts without cause are not governance. They are retaliation by repetition. I now place the board on explicit notice regarding coordinated conduct. When multiple officers, directors, and advisors receive the same written notice, are aware of the same defects, and nevertheless act together, or fail to act together, to allow unlawful practices to continue, that conduct is no longer isolated. It becomes concerted action. Repeated agenda placements, repeated silence after notice, repeated failure to cure, and repeated reliance on the same unlawful process by multiple individuals acting in alignment, establish a pattern of coordinated conduct, not independent judgment. Once notice is given, continued participation, by action or by silence, constitutes knowing involvement, and individual responsibility attaches. There is no shared immunity. This failure is compounded by the role of legal counsel. The EDC attorney is entrusted to...
Stop the recording, okay?
That's 3 minutes.
I've never even had.
You know,
I started the time.
everybody gets 3 minutes.
Once, no, yes, it is, it's in here.
It's in there.
3 minutes are given for everybody for comment.
Yeah.
So once you start the comment, the time starts. Okay, but y'all did interrupt me the first time.
Hey, Alfred, listen, Alfred, I started it over, so I gave you a full 3 minutes from that recording.
That's fine. So that
All
was
right.
my way of telling you guys that you are on notice. Silence does not work. You know what I'm saying?
Alfred,
So-
we heard the recording. Thank you. Next is Councilman Mike James.
How you doing, Economic Development Board? And
Speaking to the, a little
okay,
bit louder.
can you hear me? How you doing, Economic Development Board? This is Councilman Mike James, and welcome, citizens of Prairie View. I have some great news to tell you. There's a thing called the C-PACE. It's for business owners and people who have more than 4 people in an apartment complex. And the state has a program that will pay you or invest in your business if you use energy saving devices. If you use energy saving devices, okay? And so I love that. I'm glad we have some great pillars of the community in the audience, and I want you guys to come talk to me about this event. It's going to be held on February the 9th at 5 o'clock before we have our city hall meeting at 6 o'clock, February the 9th, that Monday. And Dub Taylor, he's with this, the state of Texas CPACE agency, and he will be able to answer questions at this town hall and information meeting. And I would love to see you guys there. So hope to see you there, and thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Question for Mr. Councilman.
Proceed.
Councilman Mike James?
You have a question.
I was at the most recent city town hall that you guys recently just had about this CPAC thing, and I decided to go do a little bit more research about it. It's a great program, and it's founded in some things that could be great for the city. But as I raised the concern in the city council meeting, it lowers the water population of the bills that the city of Prairie View would get if the business owners sign up for it, right? And then if you look a little bit deeper into the process, on the lending side of the process, you know, where the money has to be reported back to or paid back to, it pretty much allows CPAC to be pretty much be a tax agency within the city of Prairie View. So I'm not saying that it's not a good program, because it has a lot of great things to it, but I would urge any business owner or citizens of Prairie View to do your homework and really research the company. And if you really research the company, you understand it has a lot of great things and it has some downsides, just like anything in the world, right? So again, when I say something, I expect you guys not to believe what I say. Do your own research. And if you do your own research, you may find some things out about CPAC that I did. That's it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. Thank you, council. Okay, good night.
All right. Let's press on with the agenda. There's no other presentations. Our administrative assistant is calling me a couple hours for the meeting. Unfortunately, she's in the hospital. Miss Haddon. She sent the minutes for the last meeting just a while ago. So they're not in the state for us to review them.
I make a motion that we table reviewing and approving the minutes to our next meeting.
I second.
Discussion?
Yes, please.
I would like to put on the record that we are missing at least 4 months of minutes. So I guess when you guys do get an opportunity to have those minutes for the last 4 months developed, can you guys send those minutes out accordingly with the agendas that go with them so they can be matched to the agendas?
Well, what's going to happen is that we have a new website, and the agenda will get married up with the minutes. I've asked Ms. Haddon to go ahead and do that. Even the ones that have not been approved, we'll just put pending approval next to those.
I was just, as a board member, you know, I just wanted to be able to review them prior to.
I understand.
That's all I'm asking
Yeah,
for.
I'm in the same
Further
way.
discussion? We had minute meetings of October that were turned in, and we did review. I have them here. So 4 months is incorrect, but go ahead.
We actually, we do need to have them centrally managed somewhere, so we're getting them on the website, so just so everybody's aware.
But we do have,
They
we
do,
do have
yeah,
the
they do
minutes.
exist, yeah.
Okay. Another point to Mr. Emery's statement. I'm glad that you guys are recognizing that we do have the minutes. I have put on several occasions and emails regarding the minutes. Have you guys had the opportunity?
Yes, they were given out in the meeting. If you didn't keep them, it's not our fault.
Well, no.
But then also, I don't have I don't have any minutes from a year ago.
You cut me off.
None.
Can I speak? And
Call
then-
point of
Yeah,
order.
go ahead.
Point of
Yeah,
order.
point of order.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I would like to be respectful, like I'm gonna respect you, right? What I'm saying is, I have asked multiple times to match the minutes and the agenda that we already have, right? I've asked that several times. I found several things that's incorrect in the minutes that we already have. This board has chose to ignore each and every email I've sent out. I've also sent out emails to this whole entire board with the attorney, Mr. Keith Jackson, even city council involved in these minutes, right, in these emails. So when are we going to address the minutes that has not been corrected or not actually done and matches the meeting? When are we going to address those things?
Yeah, well, when we get all the minutes and get them posted, then at that time, we can address those. And I know Director Davis just brought up, we only getting the minutes from 4 months ago, or we getting the minutes from a year ago as well?
No, we're not. Also, though, as our directive as board members, once we do make mistakes, it is our responsibility to bring those mistakes that we see to the board to approve them and to add the addendums to those minutes. So if that wasn't done at that time, there was a derelict of duty as board members to find errors and not bring them to the attention of the board. So if you found mistakes and did not correct them, that was a derelict of duty.
Question? Regarding the derelict of duty, that should land where it should land at, because the secretary at the time is the person that made the minutes, Mr. Bruce Davis and Ms. Hatton. So, wait, sir, I'm still talking. So I brought up the issues. I've brought up the issues. I put it in front of you guys. I put it in front of City Council. No one says nothing. Right now, we have a silent game. Silent works two ways. It works in your favor and it works against you. So we got months now, no, excuse me, sir.
Years.
We have.
I concur. You are correct. I concur. I agree with you. We should go back about 2 years and look at meeting minutes for 2 years. I concur with you. You are correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now that you concur with me, I thank you for doing that. My thing is, when are we going to start to take action on the things that governs this board and following what the city charter requires us to do for the citizens?
Well, you've showed us that you've derelicted that. You found mistakes, did not bring them to the board to vote upon correction of them. What caused you to do that? Was this out of spite, or why did you not correct them at that time? I'm just curious.
Well, to answer your question, Mr. Davis, at the time, I looked at the minutes and I saw that it was incorrect. I came to the board. The board said nothing. The board did not respond. There are several emails that I have that I can put on the record that shows my efforts in trying to correct the minutes. There is no email that even you responded to.
Minute corrections should be done in the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, all right, let's call some order here. Let's proceed with the meeting. The first item on the agenda, discussion, consideration of possible action on removal of Alfred Johnson as EDC Vice President with recommendation to City Council for removal from the Prairie View EDC.
Point of discussion.
If I could just level set real quickly. So where we are with this particular action, there's been a precedent set. I have gone back and looked at our city charter. I've looked at the EDC guideline handbook. I've looked at the Texas Constitution, as well as I've looked at our 2021 bylaws, which incidentally are the bylaws that guide this board. Although we did have a vote in October for new bylaws, those bylaws have not been approved by our council. So we are still under the 2021 bylaws. And in none of the 4 documents that I referenced do they contemplate how to remove a board member from his role or her role on the EDC. As Mr. Johnson so aptly stated in his comments, this board serves at the pleasure of the city council. So the only way a board member can be removed is by a decision made by the mayor and approved by a majority of the city council. Separately, as it relates to an individual as an officer, we have set precedent, although there is no specific language, we have set precedent in being able to remove a officer in their current role on the EDC board, specifically done in September of this year when we removed Ms. Brenda Nichols by public vote. As a result of she being removed by a majority vote by this board, she then chose to remove or step down from actual board participation, which she was not forced to do. So by precedent, in this board, the board is proper in voting and having majority rule to remove an officer, but that officer still can and may remain as a board member until and if they are removed by a vote approved by the mayor, specifically the city council. Are there any questions?
I do.
Based on those statements? Yes, yes, Mr. Johnson.
EDC attorney, you do have a valid point, but since you brought up the Brenda Nichols situation, that was done in executive session.
No,
listen to me, sir.
I want to stop you and correct you before we move forward. In that executive session, we were improper in having our comments done in private. But we came back to this dais and had a vote done in public.
Okay, now,
Sure.
okay, when we was in executive session, right, we left from executive session and we all went home. Neither one of us came back in here and told the public anything, because if you look at the minutes and if you look at the agenda, on the very next agenda, Jonathan Preston signed as the president. And when Jonathan Preston signed as the president, he also had an election for the president. So how can Jonathan Preston sign as president? It's on the minutes. He signed as president, and we had an election as president. So since we brought up Brenda Nichols, so let me address that for you, right? Ms. Nichols, y'all voted her down in the executive session. We all left and went home. That was a violation because nobody came back out to tell the public anything. Now, let me show you what else we did wrong, sir. When we came back for the next meeting, we did an election, and Jonathan Preston had already signed as president. So that was wrong within itself. Wait, sir.
Removal. I don't want.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Narrowly, let's discuss
Right.
the
Yes, sir.
removal and not the.
Right. We're talking about process. We're talking about process. So once.
The process of
Yes, sir.
removal.
Process of removal. So
Okay.
the process of removal. What should have happened? We should have came back in from the executive session, told the public what happened. Instead of that, we went home. So the next process. Let me tell you what else happened. Right. So the next process that we did wrong. This board has never written a letter to the city secretary asking for Ms. Brenda Nichols to be removed off of this board.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't. So, and then on top of that, wait a minute, let me show you what else happened. The city council then appointed another person to the board, which is Levine Mosley, which now the EDC technically has 8 members on this board, because city council has never
formally took Ms. Brenda Nichols off this board. So if you really want to go back into logistics, you need to show me where City Council removed Ms. Nichols off the board, which they never did, right? So you have now 8 members on this board, and technically Ms. Brenda Nichols is still the president of EDC.
All right.
Incorrect.
I think-
Incorrect.
I
I'd
think
like,
you
point of
said
order,
that-
I'd like to make a discussion.
Okay, hold on. I think our lawyer already said that she resigned.
She
resigned.
did. She
resigned,
turned in a
therefore-
letter of resignation in which she gave to the mayor as well as the city council. I was there for that. Also, we did come out of that room, we sat at this diocese and had a vote. I would also like to make mention that because Jonathan was the vice president, he therefore by fault became the president. The same actions in which you took once Jonathan was gone. So in that saying, you're saying you followed the leader, and you did the same thing Jonathan did. Once the president was removed, the vice president moved to that position. We did come out of that meeting, and we did have a vote at this diocese before we left.
In order to.
There's cameras in the city hall.
That is
am I
correct. That's
So
why
we need to
it's-
go back. We need to go back and pull up the
That's
cameras.
fine.
Then don't come in here and just talk when you don't know.
I was
Because
here.
that's what I was too, sir.
Okay.
So you're gonna say that you're what?
Mr. Johnson.
Emory Davis, you was not present when Ms. Brenda
I
Nichols.
was.
Okay.
It's on camera, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson,
Go
that's
ahead.
fine. The points you're making are all well and good. Where we are today, January 21st, 2026, we are at a point of this board, upon this discussion being complete, is right in their actions to vote for removal of an officer. They are improper, and there is no such action contemplated to remove a board member from this board or from this body. So there is the opportunity for discussion to take place now. Under this board, under the previous precedents that this board has taken, this body has taken, there is proper actions to vote on with a majority rule to remove an officer. But there is no proper actions that this board is able to take to remove a board member. That is solely up to the mayor and the city council.
And speaking I would like to also stand on my comments that I made in regards to not removing Al Johnson, but vacating him from the office of vice president of EDC and to becoming just a member. I'd like to reiterate that I made a comment about when this first came up. It was not about removing him. My comment was about removing him from the office of vice president. Go back and watch the video and you will see, and put him in a board member position.
Councilman Mike James, you have a comment? Like you to go ahead and state?
Alice informed me of the situation, and it was very similar to a situation I had with Parks and Rec. As you know, I was the Parks and Rec chairman, and around Veterans Day or whatever, well, I got removed from chairman, and I talked, of course, with the city council about it. And what the council and the mayor decided is that, of course, each council or each committee has autonomy to pick their officers, you know. And so what the mayor instructed me to do, and the council is very well aware of this, is that after a while, I made my case to the board, and we had another election, and I got voted on to be the chairman unanimously. And then they asked to have the election done again, and we did the election again, you know, because we always want to follow Texas Open Meetings Act. And I put my case to the board, and I got chairman again, and I was voted unanimously. So as president, like you said, has done before, I think that if Al Johnson was removed, I think he's always free to ask the board or put it on the agenda to ask for elections whenever it happens. And if the board decides to have elections again, they could vote to have Al Johnson as vice president or not. So that's how they handled it with my situation. Thank you very much.
I have a question for the councilman. Councilman Mike James, may I ask you a question? Okay. I want to comment on Councilman Mike James' statement.
Go ahead.
When you look at lawful behavior and removing anyone off the board, it should be done off the board or lowering the position, right? There should be a process that should happen. You know, if you guys notice around this room, I placed a lot of paperwork out. These are governance failures that Alfred has came up with that is actual governance failures that this board has done. So it's not about the position to me, right? But I just want you guys to understand, when you start to saying, I want to remove somebody out of a position, is there any documentation that this board has served me with on conduct that I have not?
Required.
It's not required, we just need a majority vote.
Okay,
Required.
so it's not required, right? So you're saying it's not, so what about a public hearing?
It's not required.
It's not required. Okay, that's fine. Let's get on with number one.
All right, I want to make the motion for the removal of Alfred Johnson as EDC Vice President with the recommendation to City Council from removal from the Prairie View EDC.
Is there a
Point of
second?
discussion,
Oh,
I still
go ahead.
stand on removing Alfred Johnson as vice president and just making him a board member. Can we, just making
Want to
him,
modify the motion?
yeah, modify the motion. I'd like to modify the motion.
I make the motion that we remove Alfred Johnson as EDC Vice President from the EDC Board and leave him as a director.
I second.
Any discussion?
I would like the discussion.
Proceed.
Can you give me a reason why you want to make that motion, Mr. Mosley?
We don't have to have a reason. We just have to vote. The motion has been made and has been seconded, and so now we will call for the vote.
So,
Johnson, there is language,
can you tell us the language, sir?
excuse me, there is language that speaks to conflict, whether it be with board members or conflicts of interest, whether it be with regard to actions taken personally relative to board interests. Those are very broad terms, but there is language that speaks to that, to answer your question. But again, there does not have to be cause other than a lack of confidence that this board can choose to remove an officer. Again, not removing you from this body, but the vote is simply to remove you as an officer is what this board is contemplating voting on.
So my question to you, Mr. Attorney, is, right, can you tell me the language in the bylaws that reference those things? If you,
I said the level set statement that I made from the very beginning and looking at 4 specific documents. The bylaws that we have from 2021, the charter for this city, as well as the EDC guideline booklet.
okay, go ahead, sir.
In all 3 of those, there is no specific language for the removal of a board member other than that this board serves at the will of the city council.
Okay, may I say something?
Sure.
We are, if I'm not mistaken, right, we are public entity. We receive public funds, right? So by us receiving public funds, we should be governed under the Public Information Act.
That's a conflation.
Okay.
That's a conflation. You
What-
are
what does that mean,
connecting dots.
conflation?
You're connecting dots that don't mean to be connected.
So
The fact that this board is funded by taxpayer dollars does not create a connection to the point you're making right now.
So what I'm asking you is, right?
Yes.
To be a member of this board, do we need to have a Public Information Act certificate, or do we need to follow, do we need to follow the Open Meetings Act, yes or no?
You do need to follow the Open Meetings Act, and just as I stated, there's nothing in the Open Meetings Act that speaks to the removal of a board member other than it being voted on and approved by the mayor and the city council.
Okay, sir.
And you are not being removed as a board member. There is no language other than prior actions that we can lean on, that we can reference, that we have a precedent, for in removing an officer.
Okay, sir, what I'm saying to you is, right, we're not arguing, we're not fussing, I'm not being confrontational.
not at all.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is, we got the Open Meetings Act, we got the Public Information Act, right? So, when you take an action, right, because we're talking about an action, this is the action that's being done. So since you're taking an action to be done, and this is a municipal body, and this body is under the city charter, and by this body being under Prairie View City Charter, there are actions and there are ways that you do
You are
certain
not being
things.
removed from the body.
I understand that,
This
sir.
is the specific role in the body.
So if the public, and I'm part of the public because I am a citizen of Prairie View. I have sent in multiple documentations on, sir, listen, please,
You've
please
made your
listen.
point already.
It's staying narrowly focused on
You've
the
made your
removal
point.
of you as an officer. What you sent in with regard to operation of this body, that's something distinctly separate to what we're talking about right now.
Okay, I'm sticking on my subject. My subject is, okay, we're here to remove me as an officer. Let's stay right there. Do anybody,
I do. I would like to vote on a no confidence, a vote of no confidence, because our vice president has given us 3 sheets of paper, 3 different forms that say exactly the same thing. I don't feel leadership would be someone who would direct us down a rabbit hole. This is 5 pieces of paper that we've wasted money on that say exactly the same thing. I'm sorry, there's one difference. On one of them, it does not have, "This concludes my statement." That's the only difference, and I've read through all 3 of these papers. So my vote would be upon no confidence. I don't have confidence in your leadership ability.
when you say
okay.
spend money on, that was done at the workforce, that wasn't done at City Hall. So-
Right, but that shows that you can't control money. You would waste anybody's money. So why wouldn't you waste ours?
So let me ask you something,
Vote of
Mr.
no confidence.
Let me ask you something, Mr.
I have a
President.
vote of
Hold
no
on.
confidence,
Let's,
that's it.
Let's bring
A
it
vote
back
of no
to,
confidence.
Point of order, point
bring
of
it back
order.
to the agenda. I have some agenda, I have some a presentation here. I gave the majority of it last time. I'm not going to go through it because it's redundant at this point. We have a motion on the floor.
Okay, we're in discussion right now about the motion.
I call for a vote.
I'm still in discussion.
Sure, Alfred, if there's something
go
that
ahead,
we
go
haven't
ahead.
discussed that we can clear up, if the president would like to continue with I don't want to unilaterally stop your discussion for clarity, but is there something that we have not discussed?
Alfred, you have the floor. Please be brief.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna hold my discussion. Just know, move forward. Move forward.
It's been properly moved and seconded that Alfred Johnson be removed as the vice president for the EDC.
I don't know if you've held a vote yet.
He will, with that, he will remain as a board member. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Let's do a voice vote. Director Barbara Manuel.
Nay.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Emery?
I'm waiting, it goes in order, I'm waiting.
Oh, nay.
Aye.
We have 3 ayes and 2 nays. For the purpose of this meeting, does that constitute a majority?
Yes.
Motion is
The motion passes. Can you take quick notes on the next agenda item? Since it is necessary, we'll hold elections for the office of vice president. Do we have a nomination for vice president?
I vote that we table that until further meeting.
I second it.
Any discussion? Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded that agenda item number 2 to hold elections for vice president and secretary be tabled. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries. I'd like to recommend that we move agenda item number 37 to the next item. That's the budget discussion.
Want to move 37 to
Next, just
number,
before we get
number
into
3.
3, 4, and 5. Motion.
I second.
There you go.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we move agenda item 37 to the next item. It'll be number 3. All right.
All in favor?
Oh, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, so in discussing the budget, there were some things that came into question that we were going over. To starting out with the submitted budget, the operation revenue of $242,600 and the operating expenditures of $332,800. There was a change in discrepancy in the worksheets that we worked on when we did those budgets, and so I was trying to kind of, if we can get an explanation on why those differences were. Is JJ here? Can we go?
Yeah, he's here.
Are you able to talk about that? Because we have on the worksheet, it has 385, and I was trying to see what the difference was.
And before JJ, you talk, I'm going to show something on, okay, this is the budget
Okay.
on the screen, and I'm actually thinking that we need to have, it requires a little more time than in this meeting, that we have a follow-up session. I don't think we need a full-blown workshop, but we do need to get it on the next agenda so we could spend a little more time on it. I saw the bottom line was the same. There were some subtle differences, and we also need to have the board members to have the confidence that what the numbers that are on here are what's going in front of council. The next council meeting, not the next one, but the one after that. Emery and I are going to brief that to the city council. So we need to just have understanding of what's where, what goes with each of these lines. And I think that's the extent of it.
And that was the deal. The narrative
Yeah,
was different
the
than the
narrative
worksheet.
was off, not significantly, but it was
A couple of different.
it was off. And I take some fault for that, because when I gave you this spreadsheet, you didn't have all the narrative that goes with it. So I know, you probably go with what either we heard or that type of thing, so. Yeah, I understand.
That's what we're understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have the worksheet that we worked on. And so that's where I was finding the differences from the worksheet that we worked on and from the narrative that you were giving the city council.
which was what? Okay. Yeah, yeah, for the Civic Plus, yeah.
Uh-huh. Funds and future grant.
Yeah,
So
that,
I have a question for the lawyer also. Would it be improper to have a meeting with the bookkeeper outside of a EDC meeting?
In the past, this body has held finance,
right.
and the subject of those financial workshops.
Yeah.
And that happens, depending on a private setting, is that financial?
It's open,
So,
So, okay.
yeah.
So with that being said, we would want
Right.
so they can have at least, if not,
Right.
so we would want to try to keep
it's transparent, yeah.
Okay.
Have that transparent.
So I think we ought to, I don't think this is gonna take more than 15 minutes of us. You know, there was a couple of line items.
I have a point of question.
I'm not finished. There's a couple line items, and I think that we could go through that, unless I'm wrong on that, my time estimate. You know, because I'm thinking that we could have this in our next meeting. That sounds,
Yeah.
Make adjustments.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's,
Paying the
yeah.
EDC director.
I have a point of question.
Right.
I have a point of question.
Yeah, I'll get to you in a minute, Al. That's why I want us to have this session, so it's not, especially, we need to have confidence in the numbers and the background in the numbers so that we could sell it to, you know, the next higher level. Right. Yeah. Right.
Seminars,
Well,
workshops.
apparently there was some article, I'll get to you, Alfred. There was some article that came out, something was going on in Houston, and I haven't seen it yet, but that was some concern about that, so we'll get that.
Right.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Everything that they don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Alfred, you have the floor?
Yes. And I don't know a lot about the budget, but I do want to put this on the record. I've been on this board for about 8 to 9 months. I have never seen a bank statement. I have never received a bank statement from the treasurer at all. All we do is get a.
bookkeeper has.
Wait, sir, I'm talking. All we do is get a report. So a verbal anything is worthless. So how could you guys put together a budget and you don't even watch not one transaction that's being spent on this account? You don't know what's being spent on this account. There's no documentation of what's being spent on this account. If you look at it, Alfred is study asking for transparency and documents. This board has a way of looping around transparency and documents. Mr. Jackson just mentioned on an item, on something I just said about this board being government or city funded or whatever. So why is there not any treasure reports given to this board so the board can see what's being spent? Question?
Thank you.
That's not what, no, sir.
Thank you.
No, sir, listen to me,
All right.
No, sir.
Let's get back on the agenda.
No. No, sir.
Okay, listen up.
Wait,
Let's
I'm
get,
still
let's,
got the floor,
no, I'm taking the floor away from
So
you.
you
Let's-
just gonna take the floor?
I am.
Okay, Do that.
That's off topic.
so I'm asking for bank statements,
I
and that's
know,
off
but
topic?
we gotta press out the agenda. I'm pressing out the agenda. Go ahead.
I don't want to act as though I'm a parliamentarian. I don't want to act as though
Okay.
I'm keeping order. But your answer was dollars spent. Dollars spent reflected in any and all roles. If you are
Right.
I don't believe that that's a part of our operation on a monthly basis.
Right.
But if you choose to want, you're more than welcome to just by asking.
Okay, wait a minute, I'm glad you said that. It has been over 6 months, and I got the emails to prove it. I have asked for the treasurer report to not be verbal. We get a verbal treasurer report. And you allow that to happen being the EDC attorney. So wait, sir. Any committee I've been on the NAACP, I've been on the Chamber of Commerce, I've been on several, they give you a written treasurer report, right? So why don't we get written treasurer reports? Y'all move fast and loose around here a lot.
That operation is
Okay.
not required by this body.
So in other words, we don't need,
Okay,
so everything that you say, I'm
okay,
still
listen
talking,
up.
everything
Alfred,
that you
you're
say
done.
is we don't.
You're done talking. Okay, I'll take the floor. That's something we can take into consideration, get written reports, so thank you. Now,
Well, I'm gonna sue the shit out of this board. Come on.
all
Let's go ahead on
right,
with it.
that's your last one.
Go ahead.
Enjoy yourself.
Don't worry about this. My counsel go contact.
Just point of order. Let's stick with the agenda. What's next on the agenda?
I'd like
Mr.
to,
President.
I guess I'd like
You're good.
someone to move that we add this to the next meeting.
I'd like to make a motion that we add going over the budget in the next meeting. Well, I'm sorry, I'd like to withdraw that motion. Finish discussion. The reason that I asked the lawyer about having that meeting was to expedite us having that budget ready for the next city council meeting. And that was the only reason that I asked that. It was not to get anything done in the dark. It was just to get it expedited because I know next Monday we do have a meeting. So since that was answered by the lawyer, and I do appreciate it, I do want to make a motion that we, oh yes.
If there are no decisions being made, for lack of a better term, sausage-making session,
Right, just talking about what the numbers.
you're just talking about the numbers, you're not making any decisions on how the numbers will be used. That would not be out of compliance. But what I am saying, we want to try to do everything that we can in the public's purview.
Right.
All right.
And so I would like to make a motion that we move our next budget workshop for a 30-minute meeting prior to our next meeting.
I
I
second that.
second it.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we have a 30-minute or a budget workshop 30 minutes before our next meeting.
I've never got a copy of any bank statements.
We all
We're
got
talking
copies of
about
that.
this, what he's holding in his hand.
We all
It's came
got
out the last
copies
city
of that.
council meeting.
We
There's a
got copies.
motion on the floor.
Good, thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? The motion carries.
We got copies of that during the workshop, don't we? Yeah. I've got a copy.
Yeah, I mean, I got digital version and it was handed out city council.
Yeah.
So,
We all got them during
I-
the workshop, Jay.
JJ, I know you have to go. We'll get to it later in the meeting, but I think our next meeting will be, JJ, I think it will be on the 12th of February. If that, yeah, so,
No.
no,
No, it won't.
no, we'll still have to,
Mr. JJ, I got a question for you. Did you ever hook up your software to the bank account as was requested at the meeting, that you had 30 days to do that?
that's off topic, but
If the public don't see how this board is purposely.
that's off topic.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, moving on to the item number 3, which is the new number is 4, but 3 on your list. Discussion, consideration, possible action on payment of light bill for Muse Parkway. And the city manager has given me some handouts here. These are for the board members. Keep one. Mr. Kilpatrick could not make the meeting. I've asked him to be here to describe what's wanted here, the preferences. As a result, I'd like to table this until the next opportunity.
I have a question about this.
Yes.
What about us paying a light bill have to do with economic and development?
This is why we're not
I'm
discussing
talking to the
it.
president.
This is why we're,
To the president?
I am talking to the president. What do us paying a light bill have to do with economic and development?
that's why I wanted to discuss at the next meeting.
Shouldn't we be mindful of the things that we put on our agendas? Because
I
this
am.
this is nothing to do with economic and development, us paying a light bill.
If it enhances the life of the citizens of Prairie View, then it falls under the auspices of economic development,
Can you show me where that's written at?
I'm moving on.
Can you show me where that's written at, sir?
written by the state. All you have to do is look it up.
Can you
If
show
it
me in the bylaws
enhances-
or the city charter where that's written at?
Okay.
If it
Okay.
enhances the life of the citizens of Prairie View, then EDC can take action on it.
All right. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. As I said, I was expecting Mr. Kilpatrick to come and discuss this, defend it. He's not here. I just got this piece of paper just for the meeting.
I have a
As a
question.
result, please do not interrupt me. It's not necessary at this point. As a result, I'd like to table this issue until the next meeting. I'll entertain a motion for that.
I still have a question.
Okay, go
second.
ahead. Well, go ahead, Alfred's question.
My question is, why are we receiving documents when we clearly been saying that documents is not needed here? Like, why are you guys passing out documents? We don't need documents for the minutes. We don't need documents for every month treasury report. Why are we passing out documents? What are we doing this for?
Unnecessary tit for tat. Mr.
I'm trying to
Davis,
understand, why are we doing documents? We supposed to just act on
that will
this.
not be answered. Mr. Davis, you have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we table this for further review by the board members and bring this up for vote in our next meeting.
I second it.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded that the issue of the lights for Muse Parkway be discussed at our next meeting.
Discussion.
Go ahead.
I would like, if this is not and cannot be definitively proven how this is going to be economic development that benefits the citizens on economic and development, that this do not be put back on the EDC agenda. If this can't be shown how it directly deals with economic and development, and paying the light bill just has nothing to do with economic development. So I would like to move that this item do not be placed back on the EDC agenda, because it's not economic and development based.
Negative. We have a motion on the floor,
And it's been properly seconded.
properly moved and seconded,
Okay.
that this be
Table.
tabled until the next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
The motion carries. Okay, item number 4 on our list, in reality 5. Discussion, consideration, of possible action on giving $10,000 grant to Mrs. Young food truck. Mr. Davis, you have the floor.
Yes, for discussion. So this has been improperly worded on the agenda. I wanted these all to be placed together as part of an agreement that we had with one of our board members had set up with the credit union, to where the credit union will be teaching financial literacy courses. And so these people are people who are candidates to join the EDC's financial educational courses, and then would be able to receive these grants as a contingency. This was discussed first on a meeting that we had in September, then discussed again, well, it was discussed first in August on a meeting that we had, and then further discussed again in September. If you couldn't keep up, I do apologize, but it is not about giving the money to these people in this vote. This vote is about allowing them to be part of this program that we're working together with our city credit union, to where we can develop businesses that would drive a tax dollar and develop business that would bring in tax dollars, in which EDC does receive funding. There is an application process in which I have been working with the credit union in getting that together. There has also been paperwork that was aligned and given out to each board member. If you misplaced it, please let me know and I will get it back to you. So that's kind of going to the answer of one of these useless paperwork that was given about. Treasurer Emory Davis poses giving out $10,000 awards to no applications, no criteria, in which I've discussed 3 different times in 3 different meetings, supporting documentation, in which I've given out already, compliance with bylaws governing expenditures, in which it does, and the transparency is me bringing it up in 3 separate meetings. And it's on tape, so you can go back and watch it. So that is what this was about. So once again, I would like to bring a vote to where these 3 entities would be allowed to join this program with the credit union. Do I have a second?
Second. I second the motion.
Quite a question.
Go ahead, you have the floor for discussion.
When we look at these agenda items, these agenda items have been placed on 4 agenda items, 4 agendas the same exact way. So that's 4 agendas that it had an opportunity to be corrected on, 4. And you can pull them up too, sir. So you got 4 agenda items that this same exact wording has been placed on. Now, with that being said, this board, being discussed or not, when you look at giving away city money, there should be a town hall meeting. There should be some type of expectations of the person that you're giving money to. One of these people have already received money in the past from EDC. That should be brought up. So a lot of this information that has not been provided to this board, before you put an agenda item on that says discuss and take action. You said discuss and take action. There are several steps that has been not completed. Again, I guess we just keep moving fast and loose, right?
So the action item is to vote to allow them to be a part of this program.
What
and also
program?
to correct your mistake. In the first meeting, it was mentioned as discuss, consider, and possible action to transfer three $15,000 grants to taxable goods businesses. Emory Davis presents grant applications to board members for review, so that was done. Emory Davis explains that the $15,000 grants will be allocated to businesses which strengthens the city's tax base and will be designated as infrastructure developmental loan grants. Alfred proposes the grants be the amount of $15,000 be made available to established businesses, while new businesses are eligible for a grant of $7,000. So you've added to this discussion about these grants. So you're speaking of things that don't make sense to me.
No, sir. I'm not
I
telling.
just read it, and this is in the records. And, oh, this was after you were the secretary, so these are minutes that were actually taken.
Okay.
Because I don't remember you taking or presenting any minutes while you were secretary, since we're talking about the past. But what you were saying was incorrect, sir. So once again, I would like to make a motion that we vote upon
You move a
adding.
motion, you don't make
I
a
would like to
motion.
make a motion.
You move a motion.
I would like to make a motion.
You don't make a motion. Somebody tell this boy Robert Rubik order you move.
Mr. Davidson, it's already been a motion and it's already been seconded.
Okay, I'm
so
sorry. I would like to call for a vote.
Just calling
We're
for the
having-
vote.
Call for a
Discussion.
vote.
Discussion.
We're in discussion.
So.
I'm going to have the floor for a minute here. I'd like to ask our lawyer, have you seen these requirements? Or I think I would. The requirements for the giving of the grants. Right.
I have not seen them specifically.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, for voting on whether or not those grants should, cutting of the grants after
Okay.
beneficiary requirements are is after my office looked at them, viable program, benefactor, or benefit.
Okay.
And you can choose or whether.
And
I have a question.
same, no, I still have the floor. Same with Mr. JJ. Do you have comprehension of how this is working for us as probably our financial advisor? Oh, could you speak in the microphone, please, or just hand them one? I think your microphone stays on.
Okay.
There we
I'll
go.
keep it on.
There are reviews that you would normally make with any business that is seeking a grant, and the only reviews we make is just the viability of the institution itself.
Okay.
That's all.
So that's what the credit union is
Right.
helping
Right.
get
And
at.
that's
Okay,
what- That's part of the credit union's
okay.
role in this
Right.
thing. But if I understand what your motion is, his motion is for people just to participate at this
In the
time.
program, okay.
In a program, not
Trying
to.
to go one step at a
Not
time.
to give them the
not
money,
to
right.
allocate any funds.
Not to allocate the
Yeah.
funds. Okay, I was wanting all that
I
out
got a
there.
question.
The credit union determines who gets the money.
Okay,
got a
yeah,
question.
Alfred, you got the floor.
Okay. So,
Right.
so in this same motion, Mr. Davis has already stated, right, Emory Davis has stated that this has been on the August agenda, the September agenda, and I've clearly stated that it's been on 4 recent agendas. So, Mr. Attorney, you have never come up with anything since it's been on so many different agendas. You have never took out any time to put together no type of program, no type of nothing.
No, I did, and I emailed it to you. You didn't read my email? You didn't read my email? Wasn't that your big complaint? You didn't read my email?
So you ain't gonna say nothing?
Point of order, point of order.
To answer your question, no, I didn't put together any program. The point person for this particular motion, for the particular program, Emory Davis did that.
And
Yeah.
we're not going to pay the most expensive person in this room to do that at this point. At this point, we're not going to do that. He's going to do legal review after they go through this training, and then we
What
we
training?
get the package. We just
At the
described
credit
the training.
union. The
The
credit union.
orientation, whatever we want to call it. I'm
Okay.
using the word training, okay.
I would li-
Financial
so I got a
literacy
question.
courses,
I got a
since
question.
you didn't
That
understand.
sounds
Still
like
got a
training
point
to
of
me.
question. Got a point of question.
So, Mr. President, I'm gonna read something right here, okay? This is the State of Texas Penal Code 4205, disrupting a meeting and procession, okay? And I apologize earlier, I didn't address you guys as director. In the future, I would address you guys as directors, okay? I want you to understand, please understand, that as police officers, we do not like to interrupt the meeting, but we have to somewhat keep order, okay? So I'm gonna read you what the state says. A person commits an offense is with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting, procession, or gathering. He obstructs or interferes with that meeting, procession, or gathering by physical action or verbal utterance. So please get permission from the president to speak so that we can kind of keep up with that, okay? Sorry, Mr. President.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you. Okay, so, Mr. Davis, could you restate that motion, and, because we haven't voted on it yet. Just restate the motion.
I'd like to call for a vote.
Yeah, the motion's been made and it's been
I'd like
seconded.
to call for a vote.
Can you restate
Just-
the motion, please?
Just restate what it is.
There's a motion being made that these three entities be given the opportunity to join the program through financial literacy classes given by the credit union in order to receive $10,000 grant for taxable building businesses.
And I'd like to add, upon legal review.
Upon legal review.
Yeah, okay. Or maybe,
Upon legal review.
yeah, I guess upon legal review. Okay.
Restated the motion. I'd like to make a motion that these three entities are considered for the credit union program and the financial literacy courses in order to receive this grant upon legal review.
Right. And this just makes them candidates. It doesn't give them the money. It just makes them candidates to participate. They have to satisfy all the criteria with the credit union in order to receive the funding. We're just providing the funding, but the credit union is providing the program, the criteria, and all of those things. And if they don't meet that criteria, then they won't be eligible to receive that money.
Okay, I need a second.
Question.
You have the floor.
This motion that Mr. Davis is trying to make has an action behind it. By it having an action behind it, it needs to be placed on an agenda. We can only do unilaterally discussions. This motion that he's trying to do has an action behind it. So the motion that's live is only what's on the agenda. That is only what we can vote on, what's on the agenda. You cannot put up motions that has an action behind it just because you want to.
So I did correct that at the beginning of my discussion about this, and I'm sorry if you missed that because you were running your mouth, but I did correct that and state that this was not worded the way I wanted it, and I corrected that.
So
I corrected that. So
the lawyer-
I call for a vote.
well,
I call for a vote.
hold on for a minute. The
Alfred
lawyer,
is correct. Alfred is correct. The only action items, the only votes that can be taken in this session by this body are agenda items.
Absolutely.
So my question is, can you amend an agenda item?
Sure,
Okay.
for the next meeting.
Okay, so that's what I
So
do
we
not
just
know.
need a table.
So
4,
I would
5,
like
and
to
6.
amend these three agenda
can you just
items.
table it? Just say we table it to the next meeting?
I want to amend them for the next meeting, because you were the one I spoke to, and you put this on incorrectly after we talked about it in the office. So
yes.
no, I will amend this item to where these three entities will be able to participate into this program, and I would like to put that on the next agenda item to be voted on.
Point of question. Dr. Floyd.
Yeah, you got it.
Mr. Davis, are you saying you spoke with the president and he put your items
I'm
on
not
the
saying
agenda
anything.
wrong? That's what you sound like you said. I wanted to
You know,
make sure.
that's what he
Didn't
said.
hear, I don't know what I
He said
said.
it with his mouth. I heard it with my ears.
So he
I
said
made a mistake. Looks like I'm human.
Right.
So pretty much he's saying that
I made a
he
mistake.
asked you to put it on the agenda a certain way and you didn't.
Yeah.
That goes to items I've been talking
Call
about.
to adjourn this meeting.
Yeah. Is that a motion?
Okay.
Yes, I motion to call to adjourn this meeting.
I second it.
We don't deal with the other agenda items?
We got a motion.
Motion has been
First and
moved and
second.
second. Can I call for a vote?
Not yet. We got, well, before you go, this, we got to get your item on first. Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Properly stated or
Wait.
worded for the next agenda.
Okay. So, Mr. Emery, let's go back to the wording of these grants. And we're saying we want to just reword it properly for the next meeting, correct?
Yeah, so it'll be one
Okay.
item and not three.
All right. So it's been properly moved and seconded.
What's been properly moved in second? What is the motion?
That we amend 4, 5, and 6
Agenda item so it can read properly for an action item on the next
on the next agenda. Right. Properly
What
worded.
is going on with the agenda item that's the original agenda item? What are we doing with it?
It's not properly drafted in order for an action to be
So
taken.
therefore, we supposed to pass it as though it's not there. You can't bring up a
No,
motion
we're
that's dealing with
we're
it.
not taking any
I
action
think,
on it.
I think we said we're not going to do it today. We said that.
So you're supposed to pass it. If you're not going to deal with it, you're supposed to pass it. You're trying to keep it alive by adding to it.
We're gonna properly
hold on,
word it and stick it on the next agenda.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Let me ask you all to, I know we having a difficult time here, but I think it's Robert Rules of Order he would tell you all that table these items, it's tabled. I mean, tabled until the next meeting if they get it correctly. I don't even know what you're discussing this. It's
Right.
already- it's
Right,
already moved for
and
table.
that's what we decided. Let's table it until we can get the properly
So
worded.
why are we trying to put another vote on it if we table? That's my
It's-
point.
We're not
It's
voting
tabled,
on it.
it's tabled.
Okay.
If it's tabled, we still should vote on it, right?
No.
Okay, so it's tabled.
It's
Okay.
tabled.
So
To item number 7.
I have a question.
Is it relevant?
Every question a board member has should be relevant.
Please, go ahead.
My question to this board is this board gonna willfully ignore my agenda items because there was a motion placed on the floor to adjourn this meeting? There's agenda items that I have on this agenda. So if you guys, are you saying you willfully willing to ignore my agenda items? Because somebody put a motion out to adjourn the meeting.
We haven't voted yet.
That hasn't been voted on, it hasn't been approved. You see 4 of us in here, right?
Okay, I'm just asking a question.
All right, agenda item number 7.
But that motion has been placed on the floor.
Oh, we
to
haven't voted on
adjourn,
it?
And we
Okay.
had a second. So we need.
Can
to
you
vote.
repeat the motion?
Emery stated the motion. That the meeting be adjourned. I seconded, and we need to call for the vote if there's no discussion.
Literally and figuratively.
So back again, we're gonna ignore my agenda item. Is that what we're doing?
We didn't say that. We said we're
So
going to
if we
adjourn the meeting.
If you adjourn the meeting, that means you're not gonna take consideration to my agenda
The
items.
meeting is being adjourned. You still have a quorum here, Mr. Johnson. I think we're just continuing on.
So did the motion that was on the floor, did it die? Or are we still on it?
No, we had a second.
Well,
We just
hold
haven't
on,
voted.
let me, okay, for the attorney, we have someone that made a motion, he's no longer here. We have a second, did we just
It
vote on
was
it?
second. Now, so it was probably moved and seconded, so you should vote. Whether or not all of you vote To proceed is another thing, but it was
Right.
properly moved and seconded.
All right.
Been properly moved and second.
So it's been properly moved and seconded that this meeting be adjourned.
Now you carry out a vote for those who are in favor and those who are against.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay.
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 So that vote
The motion
dies
does
and
not carry.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
continue to
I
proceed.
abstain.
Okay. Agenda item number 7. Discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws prohibit the suppression, alteration, or removal of duly submitted agenda items except as authorized by law. Mr. Johnson, you have the floor.
I put that agenda item on the agenda because I've submitted several agenda items to Mr. Bruce Davis when he was secretary, and now that he's president, acting as secretary, and several of my agenda items have been changed and altered. There's no way you're supposed to change or alter board members' agenda items. I've sent in multiple emails with the whole entire EDC board on it and the attorney. I've never got a response back yet. So since we're dealing with this, let's deal with it.
Okay, as secretary, I attempted to summarize the statements or the agenda items that Mr. Johnson sent me. You look at this current agenda, I did not do that. So I learned from the error in doing that, and you can see the way that the information comes. It's a bit overwhelming, but I put it all out there. Now, I'll also say that there were agenda items that I proposed when I was a member, just a member of this board, and that when Mr. Johnson was secretary, that did not make their way to the agenda as well. So we're doing the same thing.
Do you have any documentation when you show, your statement just
do.
not, sir, listen, wait.
Point of order. That's not.
I got a
that's not
question.
relevant to
I'm
what-
still on
what
question,
we're
we still on the
talking
question.
about.
We still on the question, right? Because Mr. Davis just said, when I was secretary, he had items that he wanted on the agenda. I have documentation for months of correction to agenda items. Mr. Davis, do you have one email that you can produce showing that you sent me something and said I did something wrong?
Yes,
Can you provide that to the board?
not right now.
But you will.
Yes.
Can you talk clearly into the mic so we can have it on the record?
If it helps you, yes.
Do you have a timeline when you can give that, you can give
No,
that directive?
no. We'll get that.
I would like a timeline. Because I can
Not getting the
produce
timeline.
documents to you tonight, right now.
That's enough.
Okay, go ahead.
Is there a vote? Is there a motion on this?
Read the item again, please.
Discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws to prohibit the suppression, alteration, or removal of duly submitted agenda items except as authorized by law.
I second that motion.
I just read it. That wasn't a motion.
Okay.
Is there a motion on this item?
You just read them, you just read it.
That wasn't a motion. I was just reading the agenda
reading
item.
Oh.
Read the agenda item.
I would like to move that items cannot be alterated or changed by anyone unless it's an unlawful agenda item.
Is there a second?
Was that a motion?
It was a motion.
Hearing no second, the motion dies. Agenda item number 8, discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws to require identification of decision makers and adoption of a mandatory cure process for governance violations. Mr. Johnson, you have the floor.
I put that on the agenda to coincide with the prior agenda item, so therefore there's a consequence or an action that follows behind that. So I would like to make that as a motion that we move forward on doing that.
Yeah,
What
well, the
type of
state,
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, the state already has governance, a process for this, so I don't know why this is even on the agenda.
This body doesn't have, and our bylaws doesn't speak to this, and these are things that are happening that's causing issues on the board. This board seems like it doesn't want any rules or any guidelines.
Yeah, but there's some set by, like you say, the Open Meetings Act, and there's laws. and-
Y'all just announced that, though.
Attorney, you can help me with that, but there's already laws and things that govern this board, in addition to what our bylaws say. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct. First, and just to be clear, what type of consequence are when you say consequence, what type of consequence are you looking for?
Well-
Realize, considering that, or in your answer, this is a voluntary board. So what type of consequences are you looking for?
Well, again, being voluntary or not, right? Being a voluntary board, we
That's the
still.
wrong term. The term is what
You
type
said
of
voluntary.
consequence?
You said
No, I'm
voluntary.
just, you said voluntary 3 times in your answer, but you didn't get to a crux of your answer. So I wanted you to not focus on the voluntary piece, but what type of consequence are you looking for relative to your agenda item?
My consequence that I'm looking for relative to the agenda item is what's stated by law. Because if we took these state Open Meetings Act and all these things that's stated by law, whatever follows the law, I'm not making the law. So whatever the law says it's just for, that's what I'm asking for.
Do I have a motion?
I made the motion.
No, you didn't.
You just read the
You
agenda
just read the
item.
agenda item.
Your agenda item can't act as a motion. You're
You
gonna
didn't
have to
make a
repeat
motion.
that if
You
you want a
Make the
motion.
motion.
Okay, read the agenda item. The agenda,
Want me to just read it?
yeah.
Okay, so Alfred makes a motion.
He hasn't made a motion.
I'm just reading it because he's sight impaired, so. Alfred's making a motion, discuss and to amend the bylaws, require identification of decision makers and adopt a mandatory cure process for governance violations. Is there a second to that motion? Hearing no second, the motion dies. All right, next item. Discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws to mandate records preservation, retention, and production upon notice of inquiry, complaint, audit, or dispute.
Yeah, again, there's already laws that already mandate this, so we don't need to make a motion to vote to do that when the law has already covered this. And correct me if I'm wrong,
There's
Council.
well-established laws in the Open Meeting Act as well as the Constitution about maintenance of documentation for a specific period of time.
Yeah,
To be able to go back for anything from a lawsuit on down. So to have this be a part of our bylaws is effectively belt and suspenders.
Yeah,
You don't need both.
yeah.
Got a question?
You have the floor?
So is this body stating that because there's other places that you're saying that these things are, that the EDC should not have these in their bylaws? Do you see where this are you saying that these agenda items can be helpful or destructive to this
I didn't
EDC?
see, I didn't see.
Well,
I didn't say either.
I'll
Say
answer
the
that.
one. He said there's laws that
yeah,
already are in place.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
needs, we don't need to
Yeah,
take
hold on.
action on this.
These things, there's laws that already exist, so it's just layering this into our bylaws serves no real purpose.
Well, when you
Especially when we prepare bylaws, we looked at the bylaws, the main things that we need to focus on, and we looked at bylaws of sample cities of our size. That's what you would look at. Now, all these other cities still have to comply with the Open Meetings Act and all the other stuff out there, the U.S. Constitution,
Texas
Magna
State
Carta, if
Constitution,
that
et cetera.
flies.
Yeah.
It doesn't, but, all these other things apply.
City form
But
of government.
in order for us to okay, put it bolder out there, it's not really
If
serving
I
a
could,
purpose.
Alfred, just to your agenda items. Again, we're still operating under the 2021 bylaws, which are woefully inadequate. I shouldn't say inadequate, but they don't contemplate some of the actions and operations of this board. What I did was, I looked at 3 different cities about this size and comparable in operations. I looked at Baytown, I looked at the city of Waller, and the third city escapes me. I looked at all of the best practice bylaws that they had. Anything that was not included in ours that I thought would be relevant and a best practice for ours, I included in this October 2025 bylaws. all of these different municipalities, just like us, we have our in-house operation, i.e. bylaws, but we still must comply with the city charter. We must comply with the Texas State Constitution. We must comply with EDC bylaws, and we must comply with the state's, with the city's charter. So what you've mentioned, what you have referenced, those are all amongst and are part of current state statutes, I assume. That's where you got those from? That's a question to you.
No, sir.
Where did you get so you just made these up out of the blue?
So what I'm saying to you,
No, it was a direct question.
I got those from governance laws around state statutes, around city charters.
Making my point.
Right. So my point, okay, I got a question for you. During our first agenda item, right, I made a lot of points. I'm studying saying, hey, there's no paperwork that's being submitted. No, wait, so hold up, sir, hold up. I said there's no paperwork that's being submitted. There's no type of grievancy. There's no type of nothing that says Alfred did. So what I did was I documented everything. I sent you guys everything by documentation. So again, it seems like the board would rather not have compliance, because if you're saying, okay, we don't need no documentation. Wait, sir. This is where we at. Wait, sir. I'm saying that this board needs compliance. This board needs transparent.
Okay.
So just like you guys did when it came to Ms. Nichols, when it came to me just now, you guys was able to just make a vote. You guys don't, but wait. But point of order, because see, you just talking out of line, and the officer said that we're not supposed to be doing that. So listen to me. What I'm saying is, right, this board can just operate solely because it feel like it, and it has no, listen, sir, I'm asking that this board, before you remove anybody, not me, before you reduce a person's position, there should be some type of documents. If you guys can pass out documentation, this is what this board is lacking, documentation. So by y'all allowing loosely of documentation, that's how you're able to do the things that you do. What happens is, right, City Hall as a city, the walls are supposed to move because that's how you adjust. But when you look about ambiguity, when you look at that, wait, sir. Listen, wait. I'm still talking. I'm gonna give you a chance.
Follow you.
I'm gonna give you a chance. Let me talk, please.
Wrong word, Al.
I'm trying to figure out what word you use when I'm
Ambiguity. That's the word I use. Ambiguity.
acting individually, which is what ambiguity means.
When you're able to deceive by not documenting, when you're able to say I can unilaterally do something and there's no documentation, that's how this board is able to do the things they do. I've said, hey, I've never received a treasury report out of 8 months. Y'all say it ain't necessary. I said, hey, I've never gotten a verbal, a written up. There's nothing, so this board would rather act.
You were censured. Sure, you were written up.
Walk into it.
Cease and desist.
Walk into
You were
it.
censured,
Walk into it.
weren't you?
Yes, sir.
For unilaterally
Yes, sir.
making a decision
Yes, sir.
outside of the scope of your role.
You're right.
Correct?
Yes, sir. Where'd you get the scope of my role from?
As a vice president,
Where'd you get the scope of my role from?
from the bylaws.
From the bylaws. All right, let's deal with that. So you wrote me up because I signed the NDA, am I correct? You made it a public statement. You came up here and you paraded this all across the public. So let me ask you something. There was a work job fair that was just done.
What?
Hold up, sir. I'm staying on point. I'm on point because I'm on point.
From talking about a non-disclosure you signed to now a
Because
job fair.
you just jumped on how I overstepped. You just jumped on how I overstepped. So
talking
I
about
walked you
agenda
into that.
items.
I walked you into that
No,
because I
you didn't
wanted
walk
to.
me into.
Okay.
We're talking about agenda item number 8, I believe.
Okay. What's agenda item number 8? I'm gonna still say it.
Is there a motion, okay, discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws to require identification of decision makers and adoption of a mandatory cure process for governance violations?
I put that motion on there to be a motion, so therefore there's a clear pathway. Who makes the decision? Who made the decision? Who let the decision go through, right? That's what that motion's for. That motion is to show a pattern. That motion is to show,
Agenda item.
that agenda item is to show a escalation pattern. So if we don't have that, there's no transparency, there's no accountability. That's what that agenda item is for. It is for an escalation pattern. Who made the decision?
Do I have a motion?
The motion, what is the agenda item?
I already read it.
Let me pull it up.
The
What agenda item that is?
motion is, Alfred wants to move that we amend the bylaws to require identification of decision makers, adoption of mandatory cure process for governance violations. We currently don't have a quorum in the room.
Okay.
Result, we can't vote on it.
Can't vote on it. We can't vote on anything without a quorum.
We can still have discussions. We don't have to vote on them. We can still have discussions. That's the purpose. I still want it on the record that you guys are refusing these things. So let's move on to the next agenda item.
Discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws to mandate records preservation, retention, and production upon notice of inquiry, complaint, audit, or dispute.
I made that, I put that on the agenda, so therefore, again, there's accountability. That's the purpose of putting it there, accountability. This board does not have accountability. If you look at any agenda item I put on there, it's all about accountability. So do this board want accountability or it don't?
Alfred, there's only 3 of us here.
It's a
I'd
discussion.
like you to, there is no, well, he's back now, okay. Any discussion on that?
I just made it.
No more discussion. Is there a motion?
Well, number 7,
We're on number 9.
number 9, thank you.
Is there a motion?
The motion would be to a discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws
Mandate?
to mandate records preservation and retention and
Production?
upon notice of
Inquiry?
inquiry and completion of
Complaint?
complaint,
Audit or dispute?
audit or dispute. That's the motion.
Is there a second?
Guys.
All right. Hearing no second, the motion dies. We can now circle back to the one before that. And
already did
I'll just
that.
read it, but we didn't. So I'll just go ahead and make the motion for it. Alfred makes the motion that to
We
amend.
did that already. It
We
died
didn't.
for lack of a second. We did do number
No,
8.
you stepped out. We didn't before. Oh, you got
We
nothing?
talked
We
about
did it?
9 before 8.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Okay, all right.
It died. Let's move on.
Died.
All right. So number 10 is discussing possible action to amend the bylaws to clarify committee authority and prohibit unauthorized or shadow committees.
I put that on the agenda because there's committees that they have active under EDC besides the one that's already permitted. There's an executive director committee. Mr. Bruce Davis is on it. Jonathan Preston is on it. The acting city manager's on it. Wendy Williams, the city councilwoman, is on it. That committee has never been voted on. It has never been passed in front of the EDC. So where did this committee come from? Or that's something that we don't need to do?
Okay, so that particular committee was an appointment by the previous president, Jonathan Preston. He appointed that committee. Now, 3 of us were assigned during the meeting. 2 of them were assigned outside the meeting.
So
Now,
does
so
that
the
make that,
question is-
does that make that
The
committee?
question, no,
Go ahead.
I'm not
Go ahead,
finished.
go ahead.
The question is that complying with anything, or is that out of compliance? And I think the president has the ability to make appointments to committees. Now, do the appointment need to happen inside a, like here, or like something happens, the president should be able to make an appointment? So that's a question for the lawyer. If does the president have the authority to
The
appoint?
previous.
let-
Go ahead.
I'm not
I
finished.
apologize.
Does the president have the ability to appoint folks to a committee, and does that have to happen inside, one of these meetings?
Yes, to both of those questions.
Okay.
The president does have the authority to appoint board members a part of subcommittees.
Right.
Those actions take place in public forums such as this.
Okay. All right.
Got a question?
So, not finished. Okay, so having said that and clarified that, then our committee for the selection of the executive director is not authorized, since a couple of folks were appointed outside of this committee.
I got a question.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, I would commend you now for admitting that your committee is not authorized. Any committee that's done by the EDC, it should come before this board, it should be voted on, it should be passed. Then, once you set up that committee, you bring that committee back once you get members, and you vote on those members that's on that committee, and they have strict instructions on what they're supposed to do.
All
Right?
Did
So-
you want to make a motion for number 10?
The motion would be discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws to carefully
To
clarify committees,
committee authority,
authority, and
prohibit
unauthorized
unauthorized
or
shadow committees.
shadow or shadow committees.
That's it.
That's the motion.
Is there a second? Having heard no second, the motion dies.
So we still can't get a second on an agenda.
Motion has died out. We're moving to the next.
Let's
agenda.
move on.
Okay.
I got a
Now,
question before we move on.
There
Is
is
the-
no question. We're done.
wait,
talking
wait,
about
he,
it.
Okay.
We're on number 11.
he can ask a question. I like to hear his question. Go ahead, Al.
So we clear that the executive director committee has been abolished then, since we know it has
I
not
think
been.
we said that.
I just wanted to know it for the record, that's all.
I'll say it for a third time.
Okay.
I don't have to yell it. but
All right, so
that's-
that committee
think,
has been abolished, that's good. Move on.
At least the members. Okay, number 11, discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws require accuracy, completeness, and formal correction procedures for meeting minutes, including mandatory attachments and incorporation of the corresponding agendas to ensure accurate reflection of actions taken. Okay.
This is something we already have, because before every meeting, we have to approve the minutes. So we already have a process in place to formal corrections for the meeting minutes.
Got a question?
Go ahead.
You are correct, Mr. Mosley, that we do have something in place. I'm saying it ain't being followed, because we have months of minutes that do not match agendas. And it's been brought up months ago. There's no correction. So are we gonna continue not correcting it, or are we just gonna let it ride?
No, I think I mentioned earlier, and I think Mr. Mosley said the same thing, is that, well, similar thing. I want all those minutes to be online. And that way we can look at it and we say, hey, that's wrong, or I meant to say this, or whatever. We can do corrections. Hopefully the corrections happen before they get online. But what I asked Ms. Haddon to do was to put the minutes online, and for the ones where we haven't approved them, to say these are the unapproved minutes. That way we can have, if it's 90% correct, we're not all fumbling around trying to look for something that does exist somewhere. But those were my instructions to to Ms. Haddon.
And I get that, Mr. President, and I'm not arguing with your instructions, right? But what I'm saying is, before we put minutes on the website, right? We got a brand new website we're doing. Shouldn't we internally, in front of the community, whatever, shouldn't we correct these minutes so therefore they can reflect the agenda? That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for anything else. All I'm asking for is to correct the minutes so therefore it can resemble the agenda, because some of those months, we actually spent money, right? And the minutes does not reflect that. I went on a trip.
You said spent money?
We spent money.
Okay.
Right. On some of those months, EDC spent money. We went on trips, we took courses, we did a lot of things.
Right.
And I'm not saying it wasn't approved. I'm saying that the
It
minutes
should be in the minutes.
is not there. So
Okay.
that's not me being
No,
argumentative.
I'm agreeing with you. Okay.
Okay.
I think there's a conflicting thing here. It's like we're trying to have perfection in the minutes, and it's hurting us when we get asked, well, what do the minutes say? If we don't have a central place where we can go, that's been our challenge since the beginning, since me being on it. So it's not having a website, not having a central place to go to. Miss Haddon's been a great addition, but we need to equip her to help all of us and just have all these minutes in one spot. So we've had, three canceled meetings or something. So it's just been something that's been kicked down the road. So yeah, that's something we should act on.
Yeah.
I don't think the bylaws need to be a minute for that.
They don't.
But it's just something that needs to happen.
And
I
we
think
need
it
to,
included somewhere already. I think Texas Open Meetings had
we need
already talks
to
about
tape
that.
record the meetings as well, so there
Well,
should be a
the
tape
thing
record.
is, the meetings are being tape recorded now.
Yeah, now.
Well, they're being recorded now, and they're being recorded before, but the system was broken. That's why all these mics and all that stuff was killing us. That's why we invested half the cost of getting this new system with the city, so that we can have minutes. Now, it's also doing transcripts. So not everybody knows, but Ms. Haddon sent a team link before this meeting. So this is being recorded. She has her way of extracting, using the tools, extracting the transcript, and then we have some pretty
AI.
good minutes. Yeah, AI to help with extracting the minutes. So, so yeah, that's what's going on there. Again, this is something that already exists in Texas Open Meetings Act and other places, so we don't necessarily need the
Amend the
Mr. President,
bylaws.
Mr. President, if I must say, right, if we don't govern ourselves or hold ourselves accountable, right, our bylaws is our pathway, right?
It's not the only one. I'm
But
sorry.
listen, sir, if you don't mind.
I'm listening.
Okay, so us as board members, our officers on the board, our job is to make this seat better for the next person that get in this seat. So if we have issues that we clearly see that are issues or not, or that are issues that are transparency issues, why won't we fix these things instead of keep giving cop-outs? We have the ability to fix this stuff. But if you continue to leave these things wide open, that's how you continue to have loopholes and loopholes and loopholes instead of fixing the process.
All right, did you want to make
Okay.
a motion?
Yeah, you want to make a motion?
The motion is there. I
Okay.
wanted to add it to the
Is there a
bylaws.
second?
Motion made.
Well, just,
The motion was made.
okay, it wasn't.
Discuss and take action. It's how you use
That's
Well,
an
not-
agenda
no.
item, that's not a motion.
Okay, so I'll just say it. Alfred wants the bylaws to require accuracy, completeness, and formal correction procedures for meeting minutes,
Then I'll
including.
make the motion.
He's sight impaired, it just takes too long. Yeah,
The motion.
yeah, I'm reading the motion, just bear with me. Alfred makes the motion as, okay, including mandatory attachment and incorporation of corresponding agenda to ensure accurate reflections of actions taken. That's Alfred's motion. Is there a second? Okay, the motion dies. Okay, next, discussion and possible action, review, correct, and ratify all EDC meeting minutes from calendar year 2025 to ensure accuracy and compliance.
And these are the minutes that Al, so Al was a secretary during
For
this
1
time,
month.
too,
Yeah,
right?
For 1
part
month.
of it was
Where are those
Al,
minutes?
and part of it was
1
me.
month, I was a secretary.
Where are those minutes?
I'll have them.
Okay, but we don't have them now. These are the same things you're talking about, them not having minutes, but where are your minutes?
Have you reviewed any of the minutes?
Yes, where are yours? I hadn't seen yours.
I provide mine.
Where are yours?
They provided.
I haven't seen yours.
Okay.
And so make the motion. Is
Ratify
there a
all
motion?
EDC. Yeah, is there a motion?
There's a motion that we ratify,
Correct and ratify.
correct
yeah.
and ratify all EDC minutes to match the agendas or whatever for the whole entire year.
We talked about this, I think,
All
for
right,
the last
now-
7 items, didn't we? We've already
I'll
talked
actually,
about this.
I'll actually second that one, because it's his minutes, it's my minutes, and we already talked about it, getting it the right and correct and getting it on the website. So it's been properly moved and seconded that we review, correct, and ratify all EDC minutes from calendar year 2025 to ensure accuracy and compliance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. When it's a tie, Mr. Jackson?
I don't,
He doesn't vote.
I
No,
don't
not
vote.
if you vote. I'm saying that it's a tie.
If there's a tie,
Yeah. It doesn't carry, right, or what?
It wasn't a tie.
it was 2-2, correct?
Two. They did not vote, so it's
When
just
you
two
don't
for
vote,
it.
you technically
I'm
did
abstaining.
vote.
I'm not voting.
That's like
Repeat that again? When
Okay,
you
so
don't
we have
vote,
2 for it, we have 2
two abstaining.
abstain.
They didn't say anything.
Yeah,
That's
abstaining.
abstaining.
That's abstain, okay.
Abstaining, Al.
So, and that's not a, it's not a, and we don't have a, well, we have a quorum, but that doesn't
So
pass, right?
it doesn't pass.
Okay, the motion does not pass.
And just to be clear, so that we're all on the same page, there's a yes vote, there's a no vote, and there's an abstention. Abstention can be done verbally or
Or
non-verbally.
non-verbally.
All right, thank you.
Read the rules, Al.
Okay.
Number
Read on Robert's
13,
Rules of Order.
discussion and possible action to amend the bylaws require public notice, open meeting approval, and accurate minute documentation of all EDC contracts, including legal counsel contracts, and all contracts treated as public information.
Mr. President, this is just redundant. There's already rules and laws in place that take care of this item. There's already a public notice and open meetings act. All of this is just redundant. This doesn't need to be something that we need to take action on.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is not putting anybody on the spot. Ms. Barbara, I'm letting you know I'm being respectful, I'm not putting you on the spot. Have you ever seen the contract for the EDC attorney? Yes or no?
Has she ever asked for it?
No, I haven't asked for it.
Okay. Mr. Mosley, have you ever seen the
I
EDC?
never asked for it, Al.
Okay, Mr. Bruce, have you
I
ever
haven't
seen
seen
it? Okay, so, people saying we never asked for it. Anytime that there's a contract done, and this board has not been abreast to the contract, so why, when the board has a contract that's done that's representing this board, if it's the EDC attorney, you guys had that contract that you guys approved with that guy, what's his name, Rashid. That contract, none of that stuff has been put in front of the board.
Sure it was. Rashid's contract was.
When?
I reviewed it prior to me presenting that to John.
Al, how about the NDA you signed without the board looking at it or getting prior approval?
No, sir, the NDA was in front of the board. I signed it without, as you guys say, without permission. The NDA was in front of the board at least 3 months, so it wasn't in front of the board.
So the example that you're making with regard to my permanent agreement,
Yes, sir.
that agreement was presented at the very onset to Brenda Nichols.
Okay. So,
So,
go ahead, sir. My apologies.
no apology necessary. There was a vote at the 90-day period, which you voted down on. The majority voted to make me permanent. To make that agreement that was originally agreed to and signed by Ms. Brenda Nichols to have me as a permanent counsel.
Okay.
Now, if you requested to see that, then it would have been provided to you by the president, and I even still have that in the email. But what you're asking about, there is no role, there is no operation on this board for every documentation, every document, every operation to be presented to board members. If you ask for it, then it can be provided in most instances.
Okay, I have a question. Mr. Jackson, when you was first brought on as the EDC counsel, right? I was on the board. When you was first brought on as the EDC counsel, I was on the board.
Okay?
You was brought on as the interim
Sure,
EDC counsel for 90 days, am I correct?
sure.
Okay. The agenda item that was placed on the agenda, I put it on the agenda item. And I put on the agenda for you to remain the EDC interim attorney.
And that was voted down.
Wait, sir.
Go ahead.
Wait. Jonathan Preston he did not put on the agenda at all. Jonathan Preston made an action item and changed it. He made a motion on this board that you become the actual EDC attorney.
Okay.
So my question to you is, since we understand that, was that motion on the agenda? Yes or no?
It was not on the agenda.
Okay. So technically, since that motion was not on the agenda, that means y'all voted on a motion that Jonathan Preston put up for you to be the actual EDC attorney, and that technically was never on the agenda. So technically, you're still the interim EDC attorney because it was never voted on properly because it was never on the agenda. My motion that I put on the agenda was for you to remain as the interim attorney. Jonathan overrid.
Days, and since we've gone
Correct.
beyond that 90 days,
No, sir.
yes, sir, we have gone
Okay,
beyond the
yes,
90
sir.
days.
What I'm saying is,
But you said no, sir, so I want to be clear.
so what I'm saying is, on that meeting, when Jonathan made that motion, you being legal counsel, why did you allow that to happen when you know the agenda that we was operating under, that was not an item on the agenda? You see what I'm saying?
I do.
So, you being the EDC attorney, do you feel like that need to be rectified? Because the agenda item did not have you to be removed up in your position.
Sure.
So do you feel like that need to be rectified?
Potentially, yes.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking for contracts to be given to the board. Because if the board has taken on contracts, that stops those things from happening.
Again, you are
Okay,
talking about two different issues.
We're-
You're talking about the operation of the board, and you're talking about a contract. What you just, that long soliloquy you just went through was about an action item that should not have been done because it wasn't on the agenda. It has nothing to do with a contract. Do you get that? Do you get that?
Sir,
Do you get that?
you are brought
I allowed you
onto
to
this
speak.
board.
I allowed you to speak.
Go ahead.
Now, please allow me to speak.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what you just went through was about an operation of this board, not about a contract? I'm asking a direct question.
I understand.
Do you understand that we were talking, you brought up a problem with the operation of a vote, not about a contract?
Sir, what I'm saying to
You
you,
understand that you keep moving on to something else, and I'm asking you a very direct
I'm
question.
gonna ask you a question. Yes, I understand.
Don't answer a
yes,
question with a
yes,
question.
yes, I understand. Yes. Do you understand that you allowed a legal action to happen
Sure,
by allowing that vote to go
that
forward?
was an error.
That was an error.
It was.
Do you understand? Do you see now why I'm asking for these changes to happen so these actions can't be
Perhaps.
just error?
Perhaps.
You see what I'm saying?
Perhaps.
So these loosely actions that the EDC keep making, and by you being illegal counsel, you shouldn't let this happen. That's what I'm saying. You let it happen because it benefited you.
That's incorrect.
Why did you allow
That's
this
incorrect.
board to vote on something that was not on the agenda that made you the EDC attorney? You benefited from that. You see how we get silence? Move on.
We no longer have a quorum. We no longer have a quorum, so this is rest of the discussion we can't vote on, we can't take any
That's
other
fine.
action. As a result, do we just end the meeting? Can we just end the meeting? What?
Yeah.
We can't vote on it,
There we have
okay.
a- We don't have a quorum,
All
so
right.
you can close the meeting.
At 8:01, noting that we have no quorum, this meeting is adjourned.
Finally get to go. Yeah. All of these are yours.
Wait a minute, come here.
I have no idea, but
Wait, Mosley left his phone. I don't know.
only thing we're gonna take down is the table. Yeah, those mics can go.